Last year, I saw a statistic from Forrester that I really disagreed with. It said that 63% of event marketers fail to gain full value from their event content. But I think if we're all being really honest with each other, in reality, that statistic is probably a lot closer to about 90%. Because we all know how hard it is to gain full value from your event content and use it to its full potential when you're so busy. So, how do you actually do that? Well, I'm Robbie Westacott, and that's what I'm going to talk to you about today. I'm going to give you a few lesser known tips for leveraging and repurposing your event content more efficiently and more effectively. And that should allow you to gain more value and more business impact from your event content from a marketing perspective online. So, the first tip is to plan ahead. Okay. And I know you should plan ahead already. But what do I mean by that exactly? Well, when it comes to using event content for marketing purposes, before the event takes place, you should be making note of all the presentations, all the sessions on the agenda, okay? Put them all into a spreadsheet, then align them with the event speaker or the people that are involved in those sessions. And then you want to start to organize them with key information, okay? And that should be the topic or the theme or the content pillar it relates to. That should be the target audience segment that it's most relevant to and the target audience pain point that it's going to address, or the benefit for the target audience that the session promises. And then you also want to include information about your speakers, like how influential are they online? How many followers do they have on social media? Do they have a newsletter? How actively do they post? And so on. And then also the quality of your speaker, the experience. Are they likely to actually deliver a good presentation? And you can use all that to start to kind of rank the content that you're going to be capturing at your event. And even better, if you can align that with some audience data, like for example, if you're a conference marketer, you will have profiling forms or registration forms that your attendees have filled out, which can tell you what their top challenges are or what their top areas of interest are. And even better, you can look at your past content performance online and go and look at where you've talked about these topics before, which topics resonate the most with your online audience, which ones got the most engagement. And you can bring all that together to start to really prioritize the sessions that are going to give you the most value as a marketer and give your audience the most value when you start to repurpose them and share them online post event. And once you've got that prioritization, you can also start to prepare in advance templates and things like that, which will make it a lot easier, more efficient, and quicker for you to repurpose all that event content after the event once it's been captured, like template LinkedIn posts or draft copy for email sequences or whatever that may be. So planning ahead is really important. The second tip is more of a mindset shift than like a practical thing, but I think it's also equally as important. And that is, you have to be prepared to give more away for free these days. As an event marketer, you have to give more value away for free. You have to give more content away for free without asking for anything in return, at least at first, okay? So by sharing highlights or clips or full recordings of your event content online with your global online audience, you are not diminishing the exclusivity of your event, okay? What you're doing is you're showcasing what the people who didn't attend missed out on and more, right? Because the live experience is much, much more important than, just watching it online. It's not the same. Similarly, your online audience today actually demands more value and more demonstration of quality and credibility online before they're going to take any kind of action like following you or subscribing or buying a ticket or whatever. So people now expect zero-click content. They want full value. They want all the information directly in their LinkedIn feed or their email inbox or whatever it might be. And if you're not giving that to them, they're not going to trust your brand. They're not going to see value in, paying attention to you. Then you're not going to capture their attention. You're certainly not going to retain it. So I think you need to give a lot more away for free and trust that by demonstrating how valuable and how insightful your event content was by publishing it online, in the long term, that is going to build much stronger relationships with your target audience and help you gain more value and help you make more business impact. The third point is around repurposing event content, but I'm not going to talk about that as a specific tip in terms of, turning one long video into 4 shorter videos and 3 blog articles and an email sequence and a load of social media posts. I think by this point, most of you probably know that you can and should be doing that. And if you need an introduction on that topic or you need more specific help with it, there are a couple of sessions at Gleanin Activate last year which covered that, and you can go back and watch those on demand, I think. But for the purposes of today, I'm going to focus on something a little bit more unusual, which is you need to be using your event Q&A sessions for content purposes and marketing purposes, okay? And there's 2 levels to that. Now, the first one is you can use those event Q&As to find really niche, really specific, but really valuable topics or ideas or questions or challenges that members of your audience wanted to learn more about. And if one person in the audience wanted to know about it, chances are another 100 or another 1,000 in your global industry are going to want to know about it as well. So those Q&A sessions actually, even though most people kind of switch off when they arrive at the end of a presentation, it's really important to go through those and identify important topics that your online audience would probably respond very well to. Now, secondly, once you've done that, you can actually see which topics perform the best and which generate the most interest from your target audience. And you can then align those with solution providers. And you can take that content performance data from your online marketing and say, hey, this is performing really well. People clearly want to know more about it. It aligns perfectly with your solution. Would you like to create a bespoke content piece or a bespoke content campaign around this topic where you can talk more in depth about it, and you can also allude to how your solution would be a good fit for people struggling with these challenges or whatever that might be, people who are interested. So that's also a way to use event content strategically to potentially even uncover a new revenue stream for online sponsored content in future. And the final tip is you have to use your event speakers to your advantage, and you have to capitalize on the current trend of influencer marketing. So your event speakers are influential industry experts who are already giving up their time to speak at your event. So they're bought into your brand. You need to use the content to help those people promote your brand for you. Okay, they're thought leaders. They're going to want to promote the fact that they are speaking at an event anyway. So the way to do this more effectively and more efficiently is use AI like ChatGPT to analyze and adopt the writing style of each of your speakers from their online content they're posting. Okay, then get it to draft content in that style relevant to the presentation that that person gave. Then edit the video content into a really nice, concise, eye-catching video package for that speaker to share. And then you can package all that up together and send it to them. And it is ready-made, as easy as possible for them to just share to their own audience. And that exponentially increases the reach and the brand awareness and the engagement that you'll gain, as well as giving you a lot more credibility. So plan ahead, give more away for free, use your Q&A sessions strategically for content, and work with your speakers and make it as easy as possible for them to share content for you. Doing that will help you gain a lot more value and a lot more business impact from your event content. Now, I really hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn, Robbie Westacott. Thanks.